Hi, my beloveds. Welcome back to my channel, Radically Sparkling. Today, we're diving deep into a powerful shift that's already unfolding. One that's reshaping our awareness, our perception, and the very way we experience life. This content is inspired by the profound wisdom and teachings of Sadhguru, whose insights on consciousness and transformation have illuminated the path for many seekers. This shift is not just about external changes, it's about a profound inner transformation that is calling many of us to awaken. If you've been feeling different, sensing things more deeply, or questioning the old ways of living, this message is for you. Stay with me as we explore what this shift means and how to navigate it with clarity, grace, and strength. For centuries, humanity has operated within a fixed perception, one shaped by survival, ambition, and the pursuit of control. Yet throughout history, there have been moments when consciousness takes a collective leap, not just for the enlightened few, but for entire generations. We are now standing at the edge of such a transformation, one that will not be driven by external revolutions, but by an inner awakening so profound that it will redefine our very existence. This shift in consciousness is not about dramatic external events. It is not about politics, technology, or science. It is about a fundamental change in how we experience life itself. For those who are prepared, this shift will feel like a veil lifting. What was once hidden will become clear, and truths that seemed distant will feel as though they have always been within reach. In the past, such awakenings were rare, experienced only by sages, mystics, and those who devoted their lives to unraveling the illusions of existence. But now, this awareness is beginning to touch the many, not just the few. This is no accident. The very fabric of human energy is shifting, and those who are attuned can feel it in their bones. One of the first signs of this awakening is a deep dissatisfaction with the old ways of living. The things that once brought comfort, money, power, recognition, are beginning to feel hollow. People are questioning everything. Why am I here? What is my purpose? Why does my life feel incomplete, even when I seem to have everything? This questioning is not a crisis. It is the beginning of true intelligence. Another sign is an increased sensitivity to life. Many will find themselves unable to tolerate what they once ignored: violence, dishonesty, artificiality. Their bodies will reject unhealthy food, their minds will resist negativity, and their hearts will long for something deeper, something real. This sensitivity is not a weakness. It is the emergence of a refined perception, a step toward a heightened way of being. As this shift unfolds, the illusion of separation will begin to dissolve. People will experience profound moments of connection, not just with loved ones, but with strangers, animals, and the earth itself. These are not fleeting emotions. They are glimpses of a higher reality, moments when the boundaries of identity momentarily fade. However, not everyone will welcome this change. For some, it will be unsettling, even frightening. The mind, conditioned by lifetimes of attachment to identity and control, will resist this openness. It will seek the familiar, clinging to the known. This resistance is where suffering arises, not because change is painful, but because resisting change creates pain. For those who embrace the shift, life will begin to flow with an effortless clarity. Decisions will no longer be driven by fear, but by intuition. Relationships will be based on genuine connection rather than need. And most importantly, there will be a quiet yet undeniable knowing that we are not just a collection of thoughts and emotions. We are something far beyond. This shift is not something that is coming. It is already here. The question is not if it will happen, but whether we will allow it. Will we cling to the old, or will we open ourselves to the new? Those who are aware have a responsibility, not to convince or convert, but simply to be. In their presence, others will begin to sense what is possible. The days ahead will not be ordinary. They will demand attention, awareness, and above all, willingness. This shift in consciousness is not a distant prophecy. It is an unfolding reality. Those who are ready will not have to search for it. It will find them. The only question is, when it arrives, will you recognize it? For generations, human societies have been built upon rigid structures. Governments, economies, religious institutions, and social hierarchies. These systems have brought stability, but just as a seed must break open for a tree to grow, there comes a time when old structures must dissolve to make way for something new. That time is now. The unraveling of outdated systems is not a sign of destruction, but of transformation. Institutions that once dictated how people lived, worked, and worshipped are now crumbling under their own weight. Corruption, inefficiency, and irrelevance are being exposed, revealing that what was once considered unshakable is now on the verge of collapse. Look at the world today. Governments are struggling to maintain control, economies are fluctuating, and traditional institutions are losing credibility. What once commanded unquestioning obedience is now met with skepticism. People are no longer willing to follow systems that do not serve their well-being. This is not rebellion, it is awakening. Even religious and spiritual institutions, once meant to guide people to liberation, have largely become instruments of control. Rather than leading seekers inward, they have trapped them in fear and dogma. But as consciousness shifts, many will move beyond outdated beliefs and seek direct experience rather than borrowed ideologies. Education, too, is undergoing a transformation. The old model, designed to produce obedient workers, is becoming obsolete in a world where creativity, adaptability, and inner clarity matter more than memorized knowledge. Young people are no longer satisfied with traditional definitions of success. They crave meaning, purpose, and authenticity in their pursuits. Even personal relationships are shifting. The old ways of attachment and dependency are being questioned. Marriages and family structures built on control rather than genuine love are beginning to fracture. People are realizing that love is not about possession, it is about freedom. This unraveling is uncomfortable. It brings uncertainty, fear, and chaos. But if we look deeper, this chaos is not the world falling apart. It is the old making way for the new. Just as a storm cleanses the land before new growth emerges, the collapse of outdated systems is necessary for a more conscious way of living to take root. Not everyone will welcome this change. Those who have built their power within these crumbling systems will resist fiercely. They will attempt to manipulate, control, and spread fear. But no force can stop what is unfolding. For those who understand this, there is no need for panic. The wise do not mourn the falling of dead leaves. They prepare for the new season. This is not a time for fear, but for readiness. The old is crumbling not because something is wrong, but because something greater is emerging. What is coming is not just the end of outdated systems, it is the birth of a new way of being. The real question is not whether the old will fall, it already is. The question is, when the dust settles, will you be lost in the ruins, or will you be ready to build anew? As this shift deepens, many will find themselves becoming more sensitive, not just emotionally, but in ways they may not have previously experienced. This heightened sensitivity is not weakness, it is evolution. It means that the barriers that once dulled human perception are dissolving, allowing for a deeper connection with life. One of the first signs of this awareness is a stronger response to energy, both within and around us. Places that once felt neutral may now feel heavy or uplifting. Words and actions that once seemed ordinary may suddenly carry a deeper meaning. Many will feel drawn to nature more than ever, finding an inexplicable peace among trees, water, and open skies. Even food will become an area of heightened awareness. What once was consumed without thought may now feel intolerable to the body. This is the path of awakening. It is not about rejecting the world, but about seeing it more clearly than ever before. The shift is already here. The only question is, will you resist it, or will you embrace it? As consciousness shifts, many will find their bodies rejecting what once seemed normal. Processed foods, excessive meat, and chemically altered substances may start causing discomfort, not as a matter of diet or morality, but as a natural alignment with higher energy. This transformation is not just physical, it extends into every aspect of life. People will become more attuned to the emotions of those around them. A smile will no longer conceal hidden sorrow, and casual words will no longer mask deeper intentions. Lies will be obvious, and manipulation will be sensed before it is spoken. At first, this heightened awareness may feel unsettling, but it is an essential step toward living in truth. As perception deepens, relationships will transform. Superficial connections will feel intolerable, and many will seek depth, authenticity, and resonance beyond words. Some relationships will naturally fade, making space for new ones that align with this new awareness. The noise of the world, news, social media, and distractions will lose its grip, not out of fear or rejection, but because the mind will crave stillness over mental clutter. Silence will become more precious than meaningless chatter. For some, this expanded awareness will extend beyond the physical, perceiving energies, subtle shifts in the environment, intuitive glimpses of future events, or even a heightened sense of non-physical realities. This is not supernatural. It is simply the fine-tuning of human perception, something that has always been possible but was buried under layers of conditioning. Yet not everyone will understand this transformation. Those still bound by the old ways may dismiss these sensitivities as imagination or overreaction. Some may resist their own awakening, fearing they are becoming too sensitive. But true sensitivity is not fragility. It is the ability to navigate life with clarity and depth. The challenge is not the awakening itself, but learning to integrate it without being overwhelmed. This is why grounding practices, spending time in nature, conscious breathing, and inner stillness will become essential. Those who embrace their sensitivity with balance will discover that it brings empowerment, not discomfort. This shift is not selective. It is happening on a vast scale. The question is not whether one is sensitive. The question is whether one is aware of it. For those who recognize this transition, there is no need for fear. Sensitivity is not a burden. It is the key to a more profound, more connected way of being. And once that door is open, there is no need to close it again. Every great transformation begins with disorder. Before the dawn, there is darkness. Before a seed becomes a tree, it must break apart. Before human consciousness reaches clarity, it must pass through chaos. Many have felt this process in their own lives. Just when they believed they had everything figured out, life upended them. Relationships ended, careers crumbled, health wavered. The world no longer made sense the way it once did. But this was not a mistake, it was evolution in motion. When the old is no longer enough, life forces us to let go, whether we are ready or not. This same process is happening on a collective level. Look at the world today: social unrest, political division, environmental crises, economic instability. Every system built on outdated foundations is beginning to shake. The institutions once blindly trusted, governments, traditions, corporations, are now being questioned. This chaos is not the end, it is the birth of something new. But uncertainty breeds fear, and fear makes people cling to the past, even when it no longer serves them. They try to restore what is already gone, yet resistance only deepens suffering. The wise do not grasp at a crumbling reality. They learn to navigate the shift with awareness. Chaos is not destruction, it is an opening. When the world around us is unraveling, we are given a rare chance to see beyond illusion. In moments of crisis, people ask, "Who am I really? What truly matters? What is life about?" Without chaos, most would never ask these questions. And without these questions, clarity would never emerge. Emotions will run high in this transition. Some will feel lost, anxious, and hopeless. Others will feel an urge to withdraw from the noise and seek something deeper. There will be moments of despair, but also moments of revelation. This shift does not happen instantly. It is a journey through the storm, but clarity always follows chaos. The moment one stops resisting and simply observes, understanding begins to unfold. What once seemed unbearable becomes a doorway to freedom. The things that were lost no longer feel like losses, but like necessary steps towards something greater. The greatest wisdom is born from those who have walked through the fire and emerged untouched. For those who are aware, this is not a time for fear. It is a time for preparation. Not preparation through hoarding or isolation, but by cultivating inner clarity. If the mind is stable, no external chaos can shake it. If one learns to stand still in the storm, they will see what others cannot, the first glimpse of a new dawn. So when everything around you seems to be falling apart, do not panic. Do not rush to fix what no longer needs to exist. Instead, watch. Listen. Allow the transformation to unfold. Because beyond the uncertainty, beyond the destruction, something extraordinary is waiting. And those who have the patience to walk through the darkness will be the first to see the light. There comes a moment when certain individuals feel a pull, an inner calling that defies logic. It is not a voice from the heavens, nor an external command. It is a knowing, deep and undeniable, that they are meant for something beyond the ordinary. This is the calling of the awakened. To be chosen does not mean to be superior. It does not mean selection by an outside force. It means readiness. Readiness to step beyond illusion. Readiness to bear the weight of awareness in a world that clings to ignorance. Not everyone will hear this call. And even among those who do, few will have the courage to answer. This calling does not come with comfort. It often arrives as disruption. Those who are meant to awaken will find life shaking them from their slumber. The things that once brought satisfaction will feel empty. The relationships that once felt secure may start to feel misaligned. The goals they once chased will suddenly seem meaningless. This is not confusion, it is transformation. When this awakening begins, many will resist. They will try to fit back into their old lives. But the calling does not fade, it grows louder. No matter how much they try to return to the ordinary, something within them knows they can never be the same again. The path of awakening is not easy. It requires walking through uncertainty, solitude and discomfort. There will be doubt, loneliness, and moments of longing for the past. But those who persevere will discover something extraordinary. Freedom, clarity, and a connection to life so deep it defies explanation. This path is not about escaping the world, it is about seeing it clearly. The awakened do not run away, they rise above. They are not here to destroy but to illuminate, to bring wisdom where there is confusion, to bring stillness where there is chaos. Many will misunderstand them, some will resist them, others will mock them, but the awakened do not seek approval. They are not here to be accepted. They are here to be, to embody truth, to guide, to show what is possible when one is truly free. This journey is not for the faint-hearted. It requires the courage to let go, to dissolve into the unknown. But for those who accept the calling, the reward is beyond words. What awaits is not just knowledge, not just peace, but absolute clarity, absolute freedom. And so, the time has come. The choice is before you. The calling is here. Not everyone will hear it. Not everyone will answer. But those who do will never be the same again. Beloveds, the shift is already here, and each of us has a choice. Will we resist, or will we rise? If this message resonated with you, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you feel called, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Radically Sparkling for more insights, guidance, and spiritual wisdom. Together, we are stepping into something extraordinary. Until next time, stay radiant, stay aware, and keep shining your light. See you soon.